Okay, good. So very quickly, hi everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to RWC Twitch TV, possibly the most boring TV on Twitch. I mean, how often do you get lawyers on Twitch? And instead of streaming something exciting, you are going to listen to something adult, like called law. And then here you have someone who has more white hair than black hair. I am now officially entering my 48th year of my existence. So I'm old man. Yeah. I may be one of the oldest person on Twitch. I don't know. I stand corrected. Yeah. So
There's a
with
gamer
me,
grandma. Don't worry, you're not the oldest.
you know what? Talking about game, this Flower and Ellen Pang insist that I must have a gaming name. So instead of Rick Wee, now I'm the Rick the Lawyer Wee. So I said, okay, I'll create that when I play Dota 2. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the ever present and enterprising Tashbunny, who I think she don't realize, but I do look to her with respect for looking at the way she tweet, what she say, the principles that she stand on. And recently, she went viral because she decided to give the Grab and Food Panda people some free food. That really made me very proud. So, hi Tash, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, if you guys don't know me, I'm Tashbunny, otherwise known as Natasha Hashim. I'm a content producer for IGN Southeast Asia. I'm also a tech and esports and gaming host, as well as MC. And finally, I'm a casual streamer. Oh, part-time memer and can I say bad words here?
Why not?
Shit poster. That's all.
Yeah, trust me, I've said worse than that before. Yeah. So Tash, thank you for coming on board. Basically, this gentleman, very quick one. Let me plug Jual Ubat for a while. RWC is a law firm. We are one of the few law firms doing esports and streaming. For many years, we've been helping the esports community. I think Natasha knows. So last year, we decided we'll launch this RWC Twitch TV. And every Monday at 4 o'clock, I'll come online like this to give free legal advice for half an hour or so. And we try, subject to availability, getting getting guests like you. We got Flower, we got Kemi Yong before that. Last week was Ellen Pang. So today, as usual, the guests will ask me, #ask me anything on law. So all yours, Tash. I'm all yours, and I'm going to try and answer your legal questions. All yours.
Okay, so I think you gave me like topics. The first one, which is the rights of employees and workers in esports. So let me just try to break down for the audience first. What exactly is employees and workers in esports? So if you guys don't know, employees and workers in esports are more of like people who work in esports. It doesn't mean just streamers and pro players, but rather there's also the graphics designers, video editors, event organizers. There's even esports legal, like what Rick is doing right now. That's also technically also a job in esports. So I feel like in Malaysia, one of the biggest issues when it comes to rights of employees is that they don't know that, people think like they get excited, like, oh, this is my dream job, I have to work here, then therefore like they accept the abuse, I guess. Like, I don't know if you saw in the news recently, but a studio in Malaysia called Lemon Sky was actually they were actually people pointing fingers at them for allowing their workers for crunch, aka working overtime with like just overtime I heard that, I'm not sure if there was actually pay involved as well, but they were actually made to go through crunch. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but in the West, people are starting to pick up on game development crunch, where people are starting to say that it's not good, even though there's extra pay, but people do deserve the right to rest and also have good mental health, if you want to say that. So for these people here who get into game development or even esports, what do you have to say about crunch, and what are the rights you can obtain from your company when it comes to that?
Really, really good question to start the day, Tash. Basically, when it comes to employment, of course, the Act of Parliament, there's an Act of Parliament involved for Malaysians and even foreigners coming to Malaysia. The same Act of Parliament will apply. It's called the Employment Act. It's not easy to forget lah. It's so easy, the Employment Act. So in the Acta Employment, it does state that, for example, companies are supposed to pay remuneration by the 7th of the month. Then there's also issues of even harassment, which I hope to talk about it later. Then they must be given minimum leave, how many days, etc., etc. Now, I just quickly Googled Lemon Sky while you were talking about, and I realized that there was an allegation that they be making people to pay overtime without paying them. Right,
Mm.
under the law, when someone is made to work overtime, then the person has to be compensated for overtime. Of course, some companies will make you sign an agreement that, oh, I don't have to pay you. But if you ever challenge the matter in court, then the judges will say, yes, you must be paid.
Even
But
if it's on the contract.
yeah, because that means the clause is actually, in theory, null and void. For example, I cannot make a contract to say all guys must go to office wearing underwear. For example,
Ah,
then
yes.
if the guy say I don't want to, then the company said, "What's in the contract war? I put in the contract war. You agree war? You know what they say." But if you challenge that in court, the court will say this is an unreasonable clause. How can you ask a man to come to only his underwear, for example? So of course, unless the work require the man to be in an underwear, for example, if it's a lifeguard, then that's a different matter. But the point being is that certain clauses can be knocked down if it's deemed to be null and void. And
Right,
under employment contract, I must say, Tash, the law always supports the employee. It's
right.
pro-employee, yeah. So that's the position.
Okay, so I have another question. This was something that I personally went through myself. So in a contract for work, they said that if you were to leave the company, you are not allowed to work in this particular field, the same as the company, for about a year. So I consulted some lawyer friends about that, and they said technically that's not legal. Is that true or not?
Your friend is correct. The law is called Restraint of Trade Contract. Right. Under there's another law called the Contract Act. So one thing about Malaysia, actually, we have a lot of good laws. In our parliament churns out Act of Parliament every year. So one of the law of parliament, this is before independent, the Contract Act 1950, which when Malaya got independence in 57 and Malaysia was created in 63, this Act of Parliament was adopted by the country. Now, long story short, under Section 28 of the Contract Act, if I can just read out, it say that every agreement which restrains someone from doing the lawful profession is void. So, long story short, for you, for example, Tash, if some contract put that said you cannot work anywhere else in the same company for 1 year, in theory, that can be deemed to be void. But there are exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule. For example, if you are involved in national security work, you are in direct access of information of the nuclear bomb, then there is a possibility you may not be permitted to work with the rival government. Imagine a
Right, that's like
American.
treason.
Yeah, so that one is possible. That one. So there
Yeah.
are exceptions, but generally, I think your colleagues, your lawyer friends who told you, I would agree with them.
Right, right. Got it. Also, another thing that I also learned while being in my profession, I don't know if a lot of people are doing what I do. I'm sort of like doing my own thing, freelancing, while having a day job. I'm sure not a lot of people do that because of the juggling the time and stuff. But I
Hmm.
also found like when I'm doing this, some previous companies that I've worked at, they actually stop me from trying to get my own gigs coming in. Like, oh, they say like, oh, because you're under us, you're not allowed to be working with that brand, this brand, because it stops them from making us money. You have to make us money. So like, what's the legalities of that?
Okay, that one is a bit of a uh, in the middle, right? So that's unlike the earlier one. The earlier one, if I can give a name to it, is called Restraint of Trade. So
Mm-hmm.
under Section 28, okay, anybody here got a pen and paper? I feel like a school teacher. Under Section 28 of the Contract Act, it says that you cannot restrain someone like Tash to go and stream somewhere else after she resigned, for example.
Mm.
But while you are employed with that company, actually, to be fair, that company can stop you from doing something for the rival. So, for example, if
Right,
you're working
but
for
it's not
Coca
the
Cola,
rival though.
yeah. So that's why
It's
you
different.
you
Yeah,
you need to be defined in the contract. Yeah. But to be
yeah.
fair, there's some employers they will like to impede you from working outside because they want to focus you. So they want you to focus on their work. Uh, but
Right.
but that's in all fairness, outside working hours, actually you can do whatever you want, so long as,
Exactly.
yeah, so long it's not against the contract and
Mhm.
it's not against the company. So for example, if you work in Coca-Cola, you shouldn't be working for Pepsi at night lah.
Yes, that's
So
for
fair enough.
sure.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
It's
But
more of like rather like for what I do is more I don't like to say the word influencer because the word has been tainted to high hell, but let's call a pot, you know. So my work does require some influencing, and brands would love to collaborate. So I feel like I have turned down so many collaborations just because my company says we would rather have that brand work with us than directly with you. And and when you think about it in theory, like, yeah, I get it, because because they think like, oh, Tash is working in this company, that's why they want to engage me. But in reality is that I am an influencer, so therefore brands can approach me even if I don't work for that company, correct? So what they do is they say like, we will if say like a brand A approaches you to work with you, what you need to do is pass brand A to us, and we will give you a small commission for getting them to us. And, as someone who can get the full amount to herself, doesn't that sound a little bit, but the thing is, I don't know how legal that is, because
mm,
I'm not
uh,
going to be doing it during work hours. Obviously, it's going to be done after work hours.
yeah. To be fair, Tash, this is an anomaly lah. In law, it's called an anomaly. That means there's a loophole there. But you see, okay, let me give you scenarios. For example, maybe by giving scenarios, you can bring. So let's say Richard Wee is engaged by a company called Stream Champions. So
Mm-hmm.
this company does all stream, and they like this Richard Wee guy because he's the only old guy who can talk a lot. So they say, okay, come, you are quite special. You can be an influencer. You can influence the old people. Okay, right. So they engage me, and they pay me say X amount of ringgit a month to influence on their stream TV. Then at night I got nothing to do. I want to stream my own self, but that company can say, Richard, you can stream, but please don't stream things which we are doing here. Uh, so,
Yes.
so for example, if I'm selling ice kacang here, you don't go and talk about ice kacang there. You know, so
Yeah.
that scenario is possible. They can do that. Even then, see the thing, Tash. What the law say is one thing, but what happens in reality in the ground is another thing. I think unfortunately you've gone through that yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the law, for example, I don't mean to be morbid, but the law said don't murder. Under Section
Mm-hmm.
302 of the Penal Code, if you murder someone, the government can hang you. The court can hang you, right? So that's a
Wow.
penalty, a death penalty. Yet you see, like recently, Bangsa, people still killing each other.
Yeah.
Like as if it's a game. That's a game, right? So,
Yeah.
that the law is that, but in reality, people still do what they want to do. So, in employment law, for example, I know it's a very morbid example, employment and contract and murder, but the point is, in employment law, memang employers cannot do this, cannot do that, but they still do. So then
Yeah.
it comes down to you as a worker. Do you accept? And if you complain, then you bear the problems, the social problems which comes along. I concede on that. That is
Mm-hmm.
something I think law cannot solve. And
Right.
maybe a lawyer may be able to help you, but the presence of your lawyer may affect your future.
In
They
the
say, well,
company.
yeah, you're
Yes.
very action and call lawyer, blah, blah, blah. So, so scenario A is that scenario, first scenario, that kalau you are employed to do that and then you go and do something else, I think cannot. But let's say they employ me to do streaming and I still stream, but I'm a football fan. At night, I stream about football. I talk about football, and people say, "Wow, this old man can talk about football." So then, sports brand come to me say, "Hey, I want to advertise on your Twitch can." So can. In theory, no relevance to Stream Champion, the
Yeah.
company, right? Because they are streaming on Ice Kachang. I'm talking about football. But they will still say, but Richard is still streaming. You're still
Mm-hmm.
making money out of streaming. So why don't you bring the football to me
Mm-hmm.
and stream on me, and then I'll give you a cut?
Mm,
Like what happened to you? Actually, it's
yeah.
possible. They may be able to say that because they don't look at what you are selling, but they look at the fact that you are streaming. And
Yeah.
the job you have with that is also streaming. They will argue that. But I will also say that someone like Tash have a right to jual ubat on something else. So both sides are right, and it all boils down to negotiation on
Right.
which side. I know it's not the best advice I can give, but that is the genuinely practical advice. The third
Yeah.
scenario is that I am engaged by Stream Champion to do streaming, but at night I go pasar malam. and sell pasar malam things, and then they want to stop me from selling pasar malam. That one actually cannot lah. A
Yeah.
totally different business, different area, no relationship. So they are wrong in stopping me from selling pasar malam, say ice kacang, or even though I'm selling ice kacang, but I'm selling a pasar malam. There is, it's actually possible that they can't stop me. So those are
All
three
right.
scenarios. Can?
Got it. Very
Yeah.
simple, clear cut. I think I get it. I think it comes down to negotiating with your boss for that kind of stuff. But if your boss says,
Unfortunately, yeah.
I
So
feel like
try to
it's best
negotiate
for
lah.
you to leave, I feel, because sometimes your job needs to also be in your interest as well. So it depends on what you can do. Okay, so another
Correct.
thing that you talked about is like something is that is very personal to me, which is about harassment. I don't know if you guys know, but I've gone through it myself. And I didn't really know where to go through first until I met Rick. And for you guys out there who have gone through similar and don't know where to go, please find Rick. He's actually the best person to give advice. So, ever since that happened, I had so many girls come up to me and, or rather, like, I've been seeing more of these cases. Like, it's more rampant, not just in esports, but rather in all the industries. And what's really crazy is that a lot of girls don't know where to go despite having HR in their company.
Mm.
There's this one girl I know. She was telling me that she was actually verbally harassed a lot, and it was never in WhatsApp form or in text form or all that. So it's hard for her to prove. So she ended up resigning from her job instead of going to HR. So
Mm.
it's very sad, and I would really like to know if there's any advice for girls who are in this industry under any gaming organizations that go through the same, and what should they do?
Okay, I'll try to address it in a few levels. First is what are the areas of law that you can rely on, and number two, I'm going to try to give some practical advice, which is dangerous because different people go through different scenarios.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try and use that example you gave me to see how we can assist young people. It can be boys also, by the way. Not
Mm.
all the time the harassment victim is ladies.
Yeah.
Young boys, young men also kena, right? Now, law. So if you're harassed on the internet, there's the Communication and Multimedia Act. So you can go to MCMC and lodge a complaint. Now, whether they are effective or not, that's another matter. Let's not don't ask me. But Mr. Richard, nothing there. I know. But my point is, where can you go, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing is you can go there. Second, there's good old PDRM. Police, they will take your complaint. Then they may even tell you, ini saya tak boleh buat, ini you kena pergi MCMC, which is good because they will actually tell you what to do, right? And the good thing about Malaysian police is that police report is free. You don't have to
Yeah.
pay anything. And if of course some policemen are not trained to deal with sexual harassment, so they may say something stupid, especially to girls like, betul ke you ni pakai baju pendek ke? They may ask some stupid question like that. So you put that aside, but they will tell you, okay, you go to MCMC to, so these are the two immediate things you can do. The third thing is, actually, I know this sounds corny because I'm a lawyer. Actually, you should look for a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
I know people say, yeah, Richard, but don't have to look for RWC. There are plenty of lawyers out there who do pro bono work. There are many NGOs out there who help people like WAO. Look for WAO. Look for AWAM, AWAM. These are effective and passionate, powerful organizations protecting and defending women's rights. I actually really look up to these organizations. They protect the rights of the victims, be it boys or girls. Usually it's girls lah. Usually it's girls. So you can go there, and of course you can go to Bar Council Legal Aid Center. You Google Legal Aid Center. They are in Kuala Lumpur. Every state got their own legal center. You go to them. The lawyers can help you. They tell you what you can and cannot do. Some lawyers, because they're passionate, they may even follow you to the police station for free to help you, right? So yes, that is what you can do legally. As in, where do you go? Now, practically speaking, Tasha, remember earlier on I said to you, okay, the ice kacang example, if you bring in a lawyer, then the company look at you, wow, lancy, bring lawyer, right?
Yeah.
I agree that may affect you in future. But when it comes to harassment cases, Tash, I actually think, short of me giving the middle finger, I actually think that to hell with it. Bring a lawyer in now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's something very serious in my opinion. And if you're, I feel like a lot of people in a lot of companies, like personally my friend per se, she was saying that her boss didn't want to listen to her. She just saying like she should just ignore him. Like I feel like those are such like very very bad advice, because number one, it encourages them more, because number two, there's no accountability. They will just keep on doing it. Number three, having action done to that person sets a bar or a
Mm.
deterrent from other people from doing it, and it makes me sad when I hear like some girls. I've seen a lot of stories where a girl says like, "Oh, I went to HR and they ended up firing me or telling me to resign or telling me to keep quiet about it or making negotiations so I don't talk about it outside the company." It's really crazy how like they won't just like fire the guy. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah,
um,
they protect the guy instead.
yeah, I don't know why is that such a common recurring theme, especially in Malaysia.
You see, in all fairness, Tash, I look at it at two angles lah. After years of observing this, one is the gang thing lah.
Yeah,
I don't deny, as friends, whether it's boy or girls, there's this friend thing that I want to protect my friend. Don't know whether this girl or boy is telling the truth or not, right? So that's the first social problem here. The second thing is that people have this mentality, and there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm going to say this, that someone is innocent until proven guilty, which is correct.
mm,
Legally
yes,
is correct. Yeah.
yes,
So, but I always tell people that innocent until proven guilty is in court. So if Richard Wee is charged for harassing Miss X, then I am innocent until proven guilty. Fair
in
enough.
court.
Yeah, but in my workplace, if I there's an allegation that I'm harassing her, okay, give RW a chance to defend himself, but also give the girl a chance to, or guy a chance to tell their story,
Yes,
right? Why always want to protect the so-called attacker? Why want to protect him? Give the so-called victim a chance, right? So, okay, the victim turned out to be fake, let's say, terrible. You simply fix Richard up. Richard is a nice guy. You fix him. Sure, that we deal later. But for now, give both person a chance to explain. Now, but having said that, Tash, I personally have met men who has been wrongly accused. I met
yes,
them
I was about
personally.
to bring that too.
Yeah,
This is actually really crazy because I had a conversation with this with my boyfriend recently. Because like he asked me a very interesting question, which actually I couldn't answer. So this comes out because like the Me Too culture has brought up like very public call outs on Twitter, especially Twitter. Actually, I feel so like yes, it's great for girls to speak out, but there are a handful of girls who would actually use this to their advantage to to ruin someone's reputation. So my
yeah.
boyfriend asked me, and I really want to ask you as well, what can we do to protect the identities of those who have been wrongfully accused? You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm,
Because once the accusation is out, regardless if your name has been cleared, there will still be people saying things about you. So what can we do to give people
okay.
justice? Yeah.
Very good question. But you got to bear with me.
Okay.
I'm going to try and create an ecosystem. It's as if we are creating a new computer game. And the computer
Okay.
game, the esports game is called anti-sexual harassment. Now,
Okay.
so in this game, the first thing that must happen actually is that the company, let's deal with as if it's a company, right? The
Yeah.
company must first have a transparent approach. It must always tell all their employees, any harassment, talk to us.
Mm.
Please come to us. Now, when you do that, then the girl, let's say in this case, is the girl or the guy, won't go to Twitter first. They won't go to
Yeah.
Twitter first. They will know that in their heart, I can go to HR, like what you say. Okay.
Mm.
So this computer game create this atmosphere of transparency, openness, and discussion. And then when it happens, so let's say Miss X come and complain, say, no, this Richard Wee guy, very hums up. Every time hums up with me. Okay. So then immediately the HR will call this Richard, say, look, there's an allegation against you. We're going to keep it quiet. We want you and this girl to stay away for a while, please, for your own sake. Of course, this Richard, no, I didn't do anything to her. I don't know who the hell is this girl. Let's say, right? Who is she? Let's say, a really innocent guy. So in that situation, the HR must break them up and
Mm.
quietly make them move into different ways and start an investigation immediately. Have a S-ish sexual harassment, S-ish process immediately. Different companies got different style, and that's where they can engage people like WAO, Awam. Those guys can come in and help you how to run the S-ish mechanism, right? The anti, then they check, they do a hearing, then that's where they can find out. Actually, once they interview the two, they can find out already who's telling the truth and who's not, you know. So and because um, usually, I hope I don't let the cat out of the bag, but usually idiots who do sexual harassment, they are repeated offenders, and
Ah,
they always leave behind some clue, right?
yeah. So
So
that's
if
why
they,
when people say like, "Oh, that person," when someone speaks out, suddenly more stories come out because there's like the solidarity, right?
because the idiot, if usually it's a he, if he did it once, he'll do it again because he got away with
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
Of course, if you happen to be the unlucky first ever victim, then a bit tough lah because that
Yeah.
guy of all the girl he humps up with you. I know evidence wise is tough, but see, that's evidence.
Hmm.
So in this sexual harassment esports game that I'm creating, because we have this openness and all that, then it will avoid. Now, but that's the theory. In
Yeah.
reality, I agree. Actually, you shouldn't go to Twitter and Facebook and cancel the guy out straight away. In
Yeah. Don't
fact,
name names first.
correct, no matter how useless your HR, you think your HR must be, you think your HR is, you ought to write a letter complaint. And that's where, unfortunately, you need a lawyer, you
Mm.
know. And again, I said, don't always think lawyers are about money. There are many pro bono lawyers out there. Go to Legal Aid Center, go to WAO, or contact Natasha. She'll tell you which lawyer to find, you know.
I just Ricky.
But you know that we try our best, right? And not everything is about money. We do want to try and help. So like victims like that, they have an option now. And actually, with respect, actually the lawyers, when they represent these victims, the lawyer also can see whether the victims are lying or not.
Right.
You after a while, the lawyer can figure out that, hey, I don't think our client is telling us the truth. So maybe the lawyer can advise the girl or guy, say, hey, look, you sure you better back off, you know, blah blah blah. So it can happen, right?
Yeah. Because I'm
Um,
sure that lawyers don't want to fight a losing battle, honestly. I
in
feel
a
like
way,
that's
yeah,
not.
but I think while yes, most lawyers will try to avoid fighting a losing battle, but they also know that you cannot. While you must represent your client to the max, but you cannot lie. You cannot raise a fake story. You know, of course that Tash, I can't give you a 100% scenario lah. Different scenario got different consequences kan.
Mm.
But generally, I would think if a victim is going through that, especially when it's genuine, and most victims are genuine, I always tell people, why would a girl or guy, of all the things in the world, say this? They know they also going to go through a tough time. So there
Mhm.
must be some story there, unless the girl memang or the guy memang dah mental challenge, really
Wrong.
hate the
Yeah.
guy, I want to fix the guy up, then that's a different scenario lah.
Mhm.
So yes, I would think lodge a complaint, write to human resource department. Don't go Twitter yet.
Yeah.
Then you can look for a lawyer through WAO or Awam. Then then let the facts move from there.
Yeah, I feel like naming and shaming so early without looking for help is very dangerous to yourself as well, because you make yourself liable to a defamation case, and without the right resources to help yourself, you may just end up in worse trouble than you already are, in my opinion. That sometimes, because it comes down to also this is what I'm talking about, the fake accusations actually really worry me, because it actually makes it very hard for more girls to come out and speak about it because of how much the
Exactly. Yeah.
pushback is going to be. So like coming back to my question earlier, what do you do if you have been wrongfully accused, and what can you do to clear your name?
Yeah. So that in this case, which happened quite some time ago, in fact, more than 10 years ago. I've been a lawyer that long lah. Um, So this chap, but luckily at the time it happened before the days of social media.
Mm.
So the impact on this person's reputation was lesser. But he was accused of raping
Oof.
one of his colleagues, right? And it really hurt him, you know. He lost his job. He later on lost his wife. And the truth was, he did had an affair with the girl. That was what the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, but he did not do anything to
It
the
was
girl.
consensual then.
Yes, and eventually that evidence came out. Eventually, and by then he was badly hurt. He lost his
Yeah,
job. His wife, but that one is rightly so. His wife walked out on him, rightly so. You silly
yeah,
boy, why you have an affair when you have a wife? I mean,
yeah,
I told him this. He said, "Bro, how do you feel if your wife is having an affair?" Then he kept quiet.
yeah,
I said, so you cannot blame your wife for feeling like that, you know.
yeah.
So in that situation, he was wrongly accused. He
Mhm,
was quite crushed for a few years. I know he went through some mental health challenge, but
mhm.
this is way back the time when there was no mental health, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we had to talk to him, and then I know he was slightly suicidal at one time, but he overcome. Now he's okay. He's okay. He's doing well. He got married again. He got a new
mhm.
kid. I don't think he knows I'm talking to about his case here, but the point is that is an example of a man who was wrongly accused, and I saw how it crushed him. So in his case, he if it happened again in that kind of situation, I would advise the client to first keep quiet. No choice, keep quiet. Then, as his lawyer, I will issue a statement out to say so and so has been accused of this. This has been reported on social media. We seek everyone's what do you call this understanding. Sorry, that this case is being investigated. Please refrain from making any comments because this is defamatory and it's hurting the person's family. So let the truth prevail later, something like that. So then, of course, the girl will get upset. Well, never mind, but you put this out first. Then you
Mhm.
reserve your right. So later on, it turned out to be his right. Then we can sue the other party for defamation. Yeah. So it's happened before, Tash, where spurn with lovers, and not just girls. Sometimes in a homosexual relationship, where the guy like the other guy, but the other guy don't like this guy, then they make some comments, and then one thing went to another. Happened before, so I've seen these kind of cases. So long story short, if you are wrongly accused, you can sue for defamation.
Yeah, I was actually saying that to my boyfriend, but he was saying like the damage that comes to the reputation is what he's more concerned with. And I actually agree because I've been seeing on Twitter like how it goes, right? Like a lot of people who have been accused and they come out on top still get a lot of crap thrown back at them, which is actually really sad. So I just wish that there was a way, there was also a support group for those who are wrongfully accused. Like, yes, right now, I should worry about the girls who have gone through it. But at the same time, I do want to have the same empathy for those who have been wrongfully accused. But maybe in the future, we can try and figure something out because right now, I feel like the world hasn't been equipped for that yet. That's my personal opinion about it.
You're spot on, Natalie, because unfortunately, as a lawyer, we normally deal with situation which already happened,
Yeah.
and by then the damage has already been done. So even if we
Yeah.
sue for defamation, we can only get back so much,
Yeah,
right?
I know. That's actually really, really sad. But
So
moving on
yeah,
to like a more lighter topic, let's talk about streamer rights.
okay.
So
I
like
like the way you move around. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
because it's a little bit heavy, so let's make it a little
It
bit lighter
is. It
before
is.
I end.
Yeah.
So like for me personally, there are a lot of streamers out there that are under like each person are on different platforms and each platform has a payout per se, and sometimes those of people get engaged by companies to become streamers under them. So let's talk about like, okay, so let's say have a contract, right? They say per month you have to hit 80 hours per se. I think that's the usual. 80 hours per month sounds really like okay. So like the legal rights for that is that, what if you hit 78 hours, you just didn't hit 2 more hours? Legally, are they still permitted, are they still supposed to pay you but at a prorated rate, or do you not get paid at all? Because I'm hearing things that people, when they don't hit 80 hours, they get zero pay.
That's quite autocratic, isn't it?
Hmm.
But okay, Tash. That kind of scenario, like any other lawyer, we have to say that I need to look at the agreement first. I need to look at the
Mm,
terms, yeah, because to be fair, certain terms are there. And even though the terms may be autocratic, but if someone agreed to that, then too bad.
I
Too bad, you
understand.
know. So this is slightly different from the other one, where I said if the term is, for example, asking a man wearing underwear around, That is clearly unreasonable. No?
Right.
Here, let's say there's a contract which say you must hit 80 hours or else, and you hit 79 hours 58 seconds. Too bad.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's actually unfortunate.
Yes. So
Also
it's
another
unfortunate.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another
So
question I have comes down
go on.
to, oh sorry. Yeah, so another question I have is also about, okay, legal rights when it comes to the, okay, so I had a case where this girl came up to me and said that she was just a caster, but the comments that came in were very, very sexist and harmful. So what can a streamer do when it comes to that?
Okay, we from our experience, I actually, and I feel sad that I have to say this, that I actually had some cases on that. Yeah,
Oh no.
when I say sad, good, it means someone is being harassed. On yeah. I was telling my lawyers, actually, it's not very proud to say that, oh, I have so and so famous streamer who came to us because he or she, most of the time she was sexually attacked, like, oh, you body, this body, the body shaming. So I said, this is a horrible culture. Okay, so anyway, we got some cases, and most of the time we track down the person who comment, whether or not it's anonymous or some fake name, whatever. We send a lawyer's letter to that account, right? And then of course we also lodge a complaint to the platform, and then to be fair, again, the law can only do so much in this.
Yeah,
You see,
because people hide behind anonymous names, and that makes it really, really hard. And I feel that's like
correct.
the biggest problem with this digital age is that people have no filter because they don't have their name attached to it, so they think they can say whatever they want and get away with it.
And even if they have the name already, these idiots still get away with it. And this goes back to the heavy topic of harassment, actually, Natasha.
Mhm.
To me, right? Actually, the real solution is the person. We need to
Mm,
tell that idiot who's so rampant in doing whatever he or she is, usually is he, doing, is that, what the hell are you doing?
mm.
If you don't want me to harass your mother, you don't want me to send lewd pictures to your girlfriend and your sister, you shouldn't do this to other girls.
Yeah.
you know yeah, but that is the education. So actually, when we had this same webinar 1 year ago, the conclusion is, I know it sounds cliche, but it is really only education can stop this. We need to educate people to bloody stop body shaming or making sexist remark. This is 2021. If the guy or girl want to wear whatever they want to wear, or they are whatever shape body they have, that's them. It's not for you to comment, and you ain't that great either. If you, I always tell you, every time you point one finger, there are three more pointing at you. So that is the thing, lah, Tash. We need to educate that, and that's outside the realm of law. That is all about campaigns, and which is what I wanted to do with you, the campaign anti-harassment, blah blah blah. So to answer a question, in that situation, the person can do that. Track down the idiot who said it, send a letter or a DM to the fellow, said, you better withdraw or else I'll come after you. And then
I
lodge a
think I've
complaint.
seen this happening to Choo Choo Gaming, I think it was. She had a case. Was that under you? Oh my god, yeah, it was you. I had a feeling. So I wasn't too sure about the context, but I saw that she publicly made a statement asking for an apology, but the person got so scared that he deleted his his whole account.
Yeah, correct. That was I think she don't mind I say this. I think she don't mind saying this, that yes, we were the lawyers who helped her, and we drafted that for her. Yeah, and we did it pro bono because we just wanted to help her.
That was actually really good, and I feel like it set like a benchmark for a lot of gamers out there as well. Because like for me personally, if someone does that, I could just be like, "Hey, have you seen that person? Like that's gonna happen to you if you did that," and they're gonna get like so
Yeah.
scared.
And I told Chuchu, I said, I have no problem. I'm going to hunt this person down for you.
Oh my gosh! So did you end up
Yeah.
finding him?
Yeah, but he withdrew already. So we found him. He withdrew. So then Chuchu said, okay. Uh,
So
she
how
being
bad
such a
was
nice,
the comment?
yeah, but she's such a nice person. She said, tak apalah, we let it go already. And I think the
Okay.
other guy really got panicked.
Well, yeah, because they think there's no repercussions, and this is a good thing. I feel like once we start holding people accountable is when these kind of things would stop. Because sometimes, like, like when it comes to like, say, like crime, right? Yeah, still people are killing each other, but like, think about it like this: if there were no penalties for people stabbing each other, more people will be stabbing each other. I mean, yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, yeah, sadly
Yeah.
to say. But
So
yes,
thank you.
anytime, Tash, I mean, anybody out there, if they need any help, I don't know whether we can help all the time, lah, because I'm also really very busy. But we try whenever we can. And if I can't, as like for example, your case, I will find a reliable lawyer for you. There's always a lawyer out there who's willing to help.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I'll
But it's
find.
really sad that I just want to share a little bit of my experience here. It's just sad that to get justice, there are so many hoops a girl has to go through in order to get justice. Whereas the person who did it just sits there on his ass, just like nothing happens. And girls have to so much energy, time, effort, money just to get this. And it shouldn't be that way. And I really wish that in the future there was like a proper channel or a way for girls to do this without having to go through that, like I'm just gonna be
Yeah,
real here. Like I spent a whole week crying that week because I was so scared, and I don't wish that for any other girls, which is why I'm actively trying to help anyone I know, because I don't want them to feel that way.
yeah. I'm really sorry it went through you. I think I said it to you many times. That Tash, I have a little girl. Well, my daughter is not little anymore. She's 20 years old. Yeah, I have a daughter stay at home. And I can tell you straight, if anybody does that to my daughter, may help you God, man. I'll hunt you down. But
Yeah, and I feel like that also is also another problem. Like you shouldn't have to be a dad or a boyfriend or someone in order to be able to respect women. You know what I'm trying to say? Like just be a human being. And
yeah,
yeah, I
respect.
just feel like I feel
Respect.
like it's very rough here, especially in Malaysia, because when it comes to these things, a lot more education is definitely needed, because they don't know the severity of it. And it's just crazy how many crazy comments I've seen online when it comes to women's bodies, even for the ones who are fully covered up.
Yeah, I've seen that myself. I think it's really stupid. I cannot understand this fixation on women's body.
Yeah. I think it
Don't get
comes
me
down.
wrong. Don't get me. I
Yeah.
think my wife is beautiful, and I think she's hot. Don't get me wrong. My wife is hot. Yeah, I love my wife. Yeah, and I think she's the hottest woman on earth. And I respect and admire women who take care of their health, whatever shape they're in. But I don't have to tell them that they are skinny or thin or A, B or C. Why? Why do you need to say that? I don't
Exactly.
understand.
Just do you. Just be yourself.
Yeah,
And that's why I feel like as well, like social media is not a good thing as well, because the problem is there is this unrealistic standard of body, of beauty, that is just so crazy. Like you have to look this way to be order to in order to be getting respect. No, you should be getting respect because you're human and because you are a good person. And I feel like just really need to teach these things.
yeah. Good point. Good point. Well, thanks, Tash. I know you got to go. You told me you
I'm
have
so
a
sorry.
rush. Yeah,
I
no,
know
no
I,
worries, no
I
worries.
had to, but I had so much fun talking here. Like I feel like a lot of things were touched. I hope I can come here again and be your guest one more
Yeah,
time.
that's why I was about to say that, Tash. Next week we may bring in someone who can speak about content management and all that. I try lah
Okay.
every Monday. I said Monday 4 o'clock. Just quick chat, half an hour to 45 minutes like this.
Yeah, sure,
Um,
sure, absolutely.
well, like I said, this will be recorded, ladies and gentlemen. I think throughout the Twitch, I see about 2 to 4% coming in and out. Um, like I said, like, no, who the hell want to watch a Twitch TV on a law firm? But we'll do it anyway. I didn't do this to get numbers. I did this so that people know that whenever they need help, they can come here every
Yeah,
Monday.
the resources are there. Like right now, what I feel like what you're doing is great, because especially when you're uploading it to other platforms, just they know that there are things for you to refer to, because like sometimes people don't know where to go. So it's good that you are starting and sparking this conversation. So thank you so much for doing this, Rick.
Thanks, Tasha. So anybody who missed this, watch out for our YouTube upload, and then we'll restream the YouTube here. But it won't be live lah. It won't be live.
Yeah, don't
So
worry.
okay.
Okay,
Um,
I'll see you
any
soon. Thank
final
you
words,
so much.
Tash?
Oh, all I want to say is treat girls and guys with respect. Yeah, just be kind.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, don't go yet, Tash. I'm going to end the broadcast. We'll meet up in the stream. Hold on first. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Take care of yourself. The pandemic is still out there. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and it's what Tash say, be kind. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.